Welcome to the Snohomish STEM Network's presentation on our new program called LiveHere, LearnHere, WorkHere. We will cover a few STEM career options as well as the education pathways you may need to complete along your STEM career journey. Let's get started. First, what is STEM or STEAM? You may recognize the word STEM, but since these words are often used interchangeably, let's take a look at what they mean. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. Now that we know our categories, how does STEM fit into our career pathways? Let's take a look. STEM careers are any career that uses STEM concepts to solve problems. Looking at the different photos here, do you recognize any of these careers? Which ones can you name? Thinking back to the STEM categories we just learned about, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, can you see how these careers are part of STEM? Coming up, we will take a closer look at STEM careers in Snohomish County, but first, let's talk about how many STEM jobs there will be in Washington State. Did you know? Over the next 10 years, 84% of new jobs in Washington State will be STEM related. Wow, that's a lot of job openings right here where we live. You may be wondering, so what do we do now? We know what STEM careers are, and we know there will be many new STEM related jobs in Washington State. But what are our next steps? Follow along to learn about educational pathways that lead to STEM careers. At this point, you may be wondering, what kind of certificates, degrees, or training will you need for STEM careers, and how long will it take? Great questions. STEM learning may look different for each career path. Some will be shorter certificates, some will be on-the-job learning, while others may take many years to complete. Let's take a look at some examples of the different training options on the next slide. Here are a few examples of the training and education levels for STEM careers. You'll see that there are 6 levels of STEM training that lead to different STEM careers. Some of the training and education credentials can build up or stack up to help you reach the next level. This may give you an opportunity to grow your career in the same job, or it may give you the opportunity to change careers and try something different in STEM. Do you recognize any of these STEM careers from the photos you saw earlier? Now let's take that closer look into STEM careers and education levels needed in Snohomish County. Plumbers and pipe fitter careers generally require an apprenticeship. This is known as on-the-job training, where you work under a more experienced professional while also completing the required reading and skills assessments. You are paid throughout your apprenticeship. Here are a few more examples of apprenticeship careers, including electricians and carpenters. Want to see even more apprenticeship examples? Let's go to our next slide. Here we go. Heating and air conditioning mechanics also require apprenticeships, as well as electrical power line installers and diesel engine specialists. Now let's take a look at some careers that may require certificates. As you may know, Aerospace is a major employer in Snohomish County, and with all those aircrafts in use, we're going to need some aircraft mechanics to take care of them. This career may need a certificate or an apprenticeship, depending on the employer. Here are a couple more certificate career options to check out. EMT certificates may build up or stack up into a firefighter career. We'll talk more about that later. Now let's take a look at a few technology career options in Snohomish County. Software developers can do a variety of work, but they typically design, test, and develop software to meet user needs. Other technology career examples include web developers and support specialists. As you can see, the education and training required for these technology careers can vary from shorter certificates all the way through associate and bachelor degrees. You may find that these credentials are stackable as well, which means the certificate could turn into an associate's or bachelor's degree with more training and education. Speaking of bachelor degrees, Let's see what other STEM careers are available with that level of education on the next slide. Many businesses will either have their own accountants or may outsource their accounting to a private firm, although some small business owners may do their own accounting as well. This STEM career typically requires a bachelor's degree, which takes around 4 years on average to complete. Other bachelor degree examples include financial management, market research analysts, and marketing specialists. Moving on, next we'll check out a few medical careers and see what training and education is required for those STEM careers. A well-known medical career is a registered nurse. This career typically requires a bachelor's degree, although some students can begin working in the medical field with a certificate while they continue their nursing education. Other medical career options include firefighters, who are often also paramedics. As I mentioned earlier, many firefighters start their medical career with an EMT certificate before continuing their education and training onto an associate's degree. Radiologic technicians are professionals who specialize in X-rays and other computer imaging such as MRIs and CT scans. And finally, dental hygienists are medical professionals who typically clean your teeth at the dentist. You can see that these medical careers also have different education levels and training requirements, but they typically range from associate's degrees, which take about 2 years to complete, through bachelor degrees, which generally take 4 years to complete. Next up, we'll see what kind of STEM careers are available at the master's degree level. Speech pathologists, sometimes called speech therapists, work with people to assess and treat speech, language, voice, and fluency disorders. This STEM career typically requires a master's degree, which takes on average 6 years to complete. Other master's degree careers include nurse practitioners, who are similar to doctors in that they provide primary care to their patients. However, they have different licensing and may not have the full responsibilities as a doctor. Another example are occupational therapists, who treat and rehabilitate injured, ill, or disabled patients through therapeutic use of everyday objects to improve their daily living skills. Moving on to our highest level of education and training, we will explore some doctoral degrees on the next slide. Physical therapists also help to rehabilitate patients. However, they focus on improving mobility, movement, and managing pain. This STEM career requires a doctoral degree, which can take, on average, 8 years to complete. Veterinarians also require doctoral degrees. They may work with farm animals as well as household pets. And finally, pharmacists are professionals who distribute medication to patients. You may see them at your local retail pharmacy store. That wraps up our STEM career exploration. Let's move on to the next slide for a final thought. Now that you've learned about education levels required for STEM careers in Snohomish County, which STEM careers are you interested in? Check out the next slides for more information and references on these careers. Thanks for stopping by.